Good day, everybody, welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a shorter video, only because I want to discuss some things. If you guys are into the overlanding, you guys spend a lot of money in your rigs, and usually a lot of things hanging off that could get stolen easy, and you could lose a lot of money. So I'm going to an overland event next weekend, and as you guys know, I trust absolutely nobody, and I'm going to head out camping afterwards. But I got a high lift extreme jack, and those are worth about 175, 200 Canadian. Let's face it, something like that, so easy to rip off, and a thief's got away with like a $200 tool. And the reason why I say that is this mounting kit I bought and installed just has twist knobs, and that's okay if I'm just going out in the bush and not stopping anywhere along the ways. But as you guys know, I like to hoard things, and this is where hoarding comes in handy. So a couple years ago, I had this idea with a different mounting setup, and I picked up these high lift jack locks, which are fine and dandy. And I got some ready rod right here that I picked up for something that I can't remember now, but it's definitely going to come in handy now. And don't ask me why I have a second set of these. You know, it's a long story. When I was younger, I always used to shake my head at my grandparents, because my grandparents would always buy things that are double the same, and I'm like, how'd you not know you already had it? And now here I am, getting old in age, I'm gray. I'm starting to do the same thing I used to give my grandparents and parents grief about. Imagine that, eh? Imagine that. So the lucky thing is, these are the same thread. So I'm going to take some ready rod, cut it to length, and thread it inside. Because then I can lock up my high lift jack. But then you guys may ask, well, what's going to happen? What's going to stop the whole thing from unthreading and someone can still steal it? Well, the key is, once you put the stud in, you can use red Loctite. In my case, I could probably get away with using blue, but if I have some red, I'm going to use it. And the red Loctite's going to lock it in place, and I shouldn't have an issue. But I do have some anti-seize in there, so I'm going to spray it out with some brake clean and then get the air nozzle out to blow it out. And it should be clean enough then that the Loctite will work. Well, hot damn, look at that. The plot thickens. 2 different threads. It's just a matter of threading it in here, locking it in place, then putting these ones on. Easy peasy. I'll put these ones back on because these must be a metric thread. I got some red here. Magically doesn't want to flow out anymore. It's okay. Do the old dipperoo here. That's lots. And a little bit of overkill. But I'm just gonna thread that in. Thread it in till we bottom out. As such. Yeah, I got a little crazy there, so I want to get rid of the red Loctite on those threads. Perfect. I should invest in some soft jaws, but I have everything else but soft jaws. So I'm just gonna use some tape. Alright, got the old Milwaukee cutoff saw, and I hate this thing. Actually, it's reverse thread, I gotta remember. One of the worst purchases I ever made in my life. Out of all the years I've had it, I've hardly even used it. And when I did a video on this thing, talk about my dislike for it, people were just hating on it, saying I was using it for purposes it wasn't intended to use, was just to cut off small things. For all the haters I'm putting in, a new cutoff wheel too. Anything reverse thread can just mess you up. Alright, let's tighten this down. See? Full lights, full lights. Well, cut through one all right. Didn't struggle. So you can see right there, I tapered the end. And you may ask yourself why I did that. So when you taper the end, it saves you from retapping it. These are going to be coming on and off all the time. Tapered edge will make it easier for it to go on. We get to go down this rabbit hole again, dealing with this. This is why I use anti-seize on everything, so that these are just gonna spin right out. And I don't have a bald end on this one, but the anti-seize makes it so I can spin it out by hand. Presto. So then drop the new one in. Actually, it wasn't so bad today. Do the same thing to this side. Yeah, this time I managed to get red Loctite on the end, so I'm not going to be going about. There we go, in place. Round two. Look at that. Half battery power to cut two little ends off. Time for the important thing. Because I'm going to be leaving the locks on, I'm going to put a dab of anti-seize on both. You don't need to get too crazy, because as you thread it, it's going to mix around the threads. So if you want to see how strong your forearms are, yeah, pick up a hijack and lift her up. There. And once you tighten it down, use the key so it just spins. I did actually flip the high lift jack around because I like it that way better. And these are genuine high lift locks. And there you go. Sure, someone can still steal it. Removing these if they want to go through the hassle. Less of a chance they're going to have some Allen keys with them versus trying to bust this apart. So now you may ask yourself, why did I do a video on doing this? That being said, I belong to a lot of local Facebook groups in the off-road community, overland community, just kind of keep tabs what's all going on. And I see a lot of people paying shops to do some of the most simplest tasks that they could do themselves at home and save a few $100s. This little process right here, these are all parts I purchased before, hoarded, had in my garage. I modified my high lift jack system now that it's locked and I'm protected, and I don't have to worry too much anymore. I think the reality is that people are stuck on watching 15 to 30-second videos that no one, or very little people, have the ability to critically think and to solve a problem or to solve or create something that they want. Like, I just went through the whole process with you and how not to avoid any issues in the future doing this by using anti-seize on the bolts that lock it down to the hood, using red Loctite for the stud that goes into the high lift bracket. The red Loctite, once it dries, is going to prevent that stud from pulling out when you loosen those knobs. Putting anti-seize on those threads that the high lift knobs go on is going to prevent it from the threads want to start to corrode from moisture, which they would if you didn't have anti-seize on it. And then that might assist with it getting stuck, and then it might pull out that way. Very rare chance, but the possibility is there. I eliminated all that. You gotta, like I said, people, I think, lack the foresight and afterthought of what they're doing. Like, just don't think it out. It's just mind-blowing. Just mind-blowing how, like, we have the technology to solve every issue at our fingertips, but most people would rather watch a 15 to 30-second video instead of learn something that might go a long way. That being said, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. If you have any questions or comments, post them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.